Today in the Diz List, we discuss the top 5 reasons not to go to Walt Disney World.
Welcome to the Diz List, the podcast that ranks everything in Walt Disney World. I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob, and happy April Fool's Day. Welcome to episode 39, where we discuss the top 5 reasons not to go to Walt Disney World.
So I had no idea where to jump in there when you reversed the whole music.
And I added some other weird alien sounds.
Yeah.
People are like, wait, am I listening to the right podcast? Hold on.
It's the War of the Worlds all over again.
It's fun to be funny sometimes, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we are currently embroiled in a battle, hopefully, over on Instagram. We currently are, as we sit here recording. Hopefully we're still embroiled in a battle when this releases. If not, I do want to thank All Aboard Podcast for hosting another great podcast battle. It's always great to be able to not meet physically, but start following and see what other podcasts are doing via Instagram and stuff. And so if you get a chance, go and visit All Aboard Podcast over on Instagram and see all the cool podcasts that were involved in this year's podcast battle.
As of when I looked today, it was close.
Yeah, we were down by, it was 48-52. We're down.
Wow.
We're down to a pretty formidable foe.
Well, when I saw you last night, it wasn't that close.
No, it was 43-57.
Oh.
But yeah.
That's cool.
Either way, win or lose, I think it's great because we get to meet new podcasts or learn about new podcasts. And like I said, I can't thank at All Aboard Podcast over on Instagram enough. And I can't thank all of our listeners enough for voting for us. It really means a lot.
Yeah, that's cool. It's exciting.
Absolutely.
I have some sad news today.
Okay.
Rolly Crump passed away.
Yes.
Rolly Crump is a very important person to the Walt Disney Company for many reasons, specifically and especially the Walt Disney Parks, plural. So I put down some notes, just some things that he has accomplished that I just wanted to point out and how important he was to what we enjoy today. So he contributed to the initial design of the Magic Kingdom. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll say those are sketches with Walt. He did half of the Haunted Mansion. He did a big chunk of the Tiki Room. And the reason I'm saying half and chunk is they work together. There isn't one person who really does everything. Even Walt worked with a group of great Imagineers. He did the Small World clock and other various parts, along with Mary Blair for Small World. In Epcot, he did the Land Pavilion and the Wonders of Life pavilions. And he worked on as an animator on Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, Sleeping Beauty, and 101 Dalmatians. And a cool one, non-Disney related, that you don't know, I'm going to show you right now, is he created the logo for Ernie Ball guitar strings and guitar pedals. I'm showing it to Nick right now. Doesn't this look like a Rolly Crump?
Yeah, it definitely does.
Doesn't it?
That is, I did not expect that.
So take a second and pause if you want and do a quick Google search for Ernie Ball. It's a, guitar accessories company. And you'll see the logo and go, oh yeah, that could be somewhere inside the Small World ride.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You don't normally think rock and roll and Small World together, but it's very similar kind of style.
Absolutely.
So, rest in peace, Rolly Crump.
I when you start looking at what these original, I'm going to call them like the OG Imagineers. When you look at what they contributed to the parks, they left a stamp on American, well, not just American, on the world, but they left a stamp on so many people's memories. Their the nostalgia for parts of that park were designed by these people, right? So we might think, okay, well, that's cool. I remember this cartoon growing up, or I remember, and you think fondly back on those, but think about the number of people who've ridden Small World and looked at that clock face, or the part of which, honestly, he designed my favorite part of Haunted Mansion, right? The whimsical, like that was him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing what these OG Imagineers have done and how kind of anonymous they are.
Yeah.
Like, they're not out there like, hey, look at me. I would say the only one who's like, I shouldn't say the only one, but the most famous one is probably Joe Rohde. Yeah. Like, in his lifetime. You know what I mean?
And he's a little bit more of a modern Imagineer.
And Mary Blair is more famous just because of her artwork, not necessarily the Imagineering piece, I would say. But, yeah. Rest in peace. So I want to kind of, like we did last week, turn away from like the negativity and back into something positive, or sort of positive. Remember how last week you said, where were they going to put Cherry Tree Lane?
Oh yeah.
So I sent a pre-copy of the podcast over to Disney, and they decided, hey, just because you are talking about this, the day after you record, we're going to release the concept art to show everybody that, yes, indeed, we were going to take away your beloved garden. And since this is the April Fool's Day or Opposite World episode, I think it's probably something we really would have enjoyed because it's basically an indoor teacup ride, and we both know we love the teacups.
Yeah, that's, I think, one of the only, there's a few photos of just us from when we went to the parks, and that photo was one of them of us on the teacups trying not to puke.
So in what world is it like we're gonna build Cherry Tree Lane, right? In what world were they like, I know, let's take and clone the teacups? Like, it makes no sense.
Were they? It was literally going to be a teacup that you ride in again. So teacup and teacup.
That is what it looked like.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't understand. Maybe the Imagineers had something better. There were definitely some projections going on and whatnot, but I don't even want to guess why they would have thought that was a good idea. But
don't the horses come off the carousel in Mary Poppins? Wouldn't that be just?
Oh, you mean like a trackless ride system when you're on a horse? That wouldn't. Yeah. That would. They don't have trackless ride systems though.
They definitely don't have one that you can throw a football and hit from that pavilion.
Uncle Pedro can throw the football. Or not Uncle Pedro. Who's
Rico.
Uncle Rico.
I bet you can throw a football over them mountains.
If you know that quote, you can be our friend.
I love that movie so much.
All right, so today's episode is obviously a little bit tongue-in-cheek, right? Because April 1st is coming up here.
Yep.
And we wanted to play along a little bit with it, prankster style. But at the same time, what we're going to be telling people are actual viable reasons as to why not to go.
Yep. It's something we wouldn't normally do as a Diz List top 5.
Oh, certainly not.
But these are legit things we're doing. It's a joke, but it's not a joke.
Right. These are definitely going to be reasons why you may not choose to visit Disney this summer.
Yep.
I will add that if you take these pieces of advice, thank you, because it means my vacation may be a little bit more enjoyable because it'll be less crowded. Which I think people are already taking this advice because Disney announced that, oh, remember that 35% off for Visa card people? We're just going to make 35% off, period. Like, Disney is, I think, revenge travel's over, folks. And Disney is like, uh-oh, what'd we do?
Yep.
We priced ourselves out.
So they're panicking a little bit.
So on a related note, we're going to head off to the halftime show brought to you by Universal Studios.
Wow.
Yeah.
On the Disney podcast?
Yeah. I mean, because this is reasons not to go to Disney.
Oh, and that's a reason not to go.
Yeah.
Jeez, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, Back to the Future, Jaws. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
But I want to go on the Jaws ride.
Oh, well. Womp womp.
That's something for a different episode. That ride was amazing. Did you ever get to go on the Jaws ride?
I did.
Oh, my God. It's so good.
All right. So we're going to head off to the halftime show brought to you by Universal Studios.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. No matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. When you want to take your conversation with your fans to the next level, Q&A and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Best of all, it's totally free, and there's no catch. When we discovered Spotify for Podcasters, we unlocked a door to a world where we could celebrate our passion, and we could create a community around what we love. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
Welcome back to the Diz List. This week we're going to rank our top 5 reasons not to go.
So it'll make it less crowded for us.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I want to be clear, we love Disney. These are reasons that are viable reasons why not to go, but they are also reasons we ignore.
True.
They are all reasons that we're like, well, I don't care. I'm still going.
I think people are going to agree with a lot of these.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is that there are a lot of reasons to second guess a Disney vacation. And some of them, there are ways to solve those problems that are pretty easy. I'm not going to say what some of the solutions are yet because I'm not sure what you have. Like, I have one that's not on my list.
Sure.
That I have a solution for, but like, I don't want to say, I don't know. We'll talk about it as we get there. So yeah, I think that going to Disney in 2023 could be challenging and might not be for everybody.
Well, and has been the last handful of years for many of the reasons we're about to talk about.
Yeah. So why don't we just dive right in here and start making our sponsor, Universal Studios, happy. And start with what's your number 5 reason why you think we should not go to Disney in 2023?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to cut to the chase with a lot of these. A lot of times they have these big elaborate lead-ins and all these.
You?
Yeah, I love to, but that's part of the fun. My number 5 is the fact that Epcot specifically is still under this never-ending construction project and has been. Now, I was doing research on this episode and tried to find when it started. I couldn't find it. What's an estimate? 3 years? 4 years? 5?
It was at least 2018.
Is when they started that whole, man, that's a long time.
I can't remember when they started it, but it's been since at least 2018.
Yeah, I can probably look back in our pictures and see. You can kind of look in the background and figure out when Epcot
I'll give you this.
That.
My children have never been to Epcot when it's not under construction.
See, that's interesting. That's crazy to think about.
I mean,
so why not to go? Epcot is just a giant construction zone. It has been for a long time.
So this isn't on my list. I have it on my honorable mentions of reasons not to go. I don't think for me it's enough to dissuade me not to go because the whole back half of the park is really why I go to Epcot.
Yeah.
But my goodness,
maybe just wait. I don't know.
Could they take any longer?
Yeah.
I mean, if Tron is any kind of a benchmark by which you look at construction speed, Epcot should be done sometime by the time I'm 70.
Right. And these updates from Universal Studios, it's crazy to see how fast these things are flying up for an entire brand new park. Not one little attraction.
Maybe it's because they pay their cast members. Oh, actually,
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
hey.
We forgot to talk about that.
yeah. So congratulations, cast members. We're happy for you.
Yes.
Disney, smart. Way to look out, and way to realize where your bread is buttered.
Yeah,
Sorry.
if you want the details on that, I mean, it's all over the place on social media. If you look up, the Disney, well, it's tentative. They haven't. Nothing's official yet, but it's a tentative agreement.
Correct. It's what you call an agreement before your membership has voted and ratified it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, everything's tentative until it's voted upon.
Yeah. So again, I don't have a huge story other than it kind of stinks, and if you really want to get anywhere, it's a major hike all around all of, it's.
They did, however, this week open up a new pathway.
Yes. Oh, we talked about that. I was actually going to watch that video and I didn't get around to it last night.
Yeah. So I mean, it's slowly getting there, but
really slowly.
Even when they open up the new Moana stuff, it's still not going to be like done because they still have like the Communicore, right? It's Communicore. Is that what it's called?
The building?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Interventions, Communicore.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at here, let's look at this from an art and a math perspective for a second, which I know we both love, obviously. If we look at Epcot from an aerial view, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And let's take the percentage. Let's take the average percentage that is taken up by construction. Let's not say current. Let's say what it's been. The average has been the last couple of years.
Oh, 30%.
Okay. That was going to be my question. And is that including or not including the lagoon, the water?
I'm not going to include like the water. I would say 30% of that park has been under construction or impacted by said construction.
Man, that's a big number.
It is, but think about it. The whole front half of the park is nothing but scrim. Like, they have walls that have been up so long that the paint color has changed.
Yeah.
Right? Figment in one spot is like gray because he's faded.
Oh,
he's
he didn't start off gray?
I have a picture of him where he's teal because he's baked in the sun so much.
Oh, I thought they did those on purpose. Maybe they didn't.
No, maybe they did, but
I don't know.
If they did, that was stupid.
Yeah.
And if they didn't, it tells me how long that scrim's been up.
Yeah, because I get someone trying to be creative. Let's make Figment teal, but that's just confusing to people who are there for the first time.
Yeah,
who's this teal dragon? Oh wait, why did they make him pinkish purple in the ride? That's weird. Like it's.
I would agree that that this is a good reason. Your number 5 is a good reason why not to go this summer.
What do you have?
So my number 5 is that it is not a relaxing vacation. When you get done a Disney vacation, you need a vacation. Like, if you're expecting to come home and be like, "Oh, that was so relaxing," wrong.
No,
like it's
a sprint.
Yeah, plan on buying the nicest pair of running or walking shoes you can afford, and then walking 12 miles a day, going to bed sometime around midnight, waking up at 6:45 to purchase your Genie Plus so that at 7 a.m. you can get your Lightning Lane so that way you can make it to the bus stop at 7:15 so you can get to the park for rope drop. And by the way, that's if you choose not to like take advantage of early entry, or if you maybe you want to buy. We were talking last night how my wife was a little stressed out because this summer she doesn't have, like last summer we went together. So I would take care of Lightning Lane. Rob would take care of individual Lightning Lane if we were doing it that day.
Oh, this is funny.
So my wife was like, I'm stressed. I don't even know what the heck we're going to have to do. While you're doing one thing, I got to do the other. Like, I don't even know how to do it anymore.
We need to have Rob there so he can book the Lightning Lane and you can
do the individual Lightning Lane. So, like, it's stressful. It's not relaxing. And look, for me, I love it. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
But as I said last week, one of the reasons I love the English Garden in the UK pavilion is because it's one of the few places where I can sit and relax.
Right, and it's a contrast too, and that I think is important for the trips too. Is it's a lot, and there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of people, but having that ability to pull back,
right,
and reel it in a little bit and say, okay, I'm going to reflect, relax, and then go back in. And I think that's important.
I'm not sure what job you could possibly have where you go to Disney and come back and say that was such a refreshing vacation.
Maybe a teacher, elementary school teacher.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's insane. But yeah, that's my number 5. It's not relaxing.
My number 4 can really make things less relaxing as well, and it has gotten. I don't know if it's gotten worse or if just social media and everybody having cell phones has really brought this to the forefront, and that's just rude people and doing really crazy stuff in the parks. So I just put a couple quick things that came to mind, and there's way more than this. Number 1, cutting the lines. That boils my blood.
My family's up there.
My family's up there.
Yeah.
Oh, I get so mad. And I think, okay, am I going to make a big scene, which I don't usually do. When I do, it's like, it's a big deal. So am I going to make a scene and make my family mad? Like, is it worth it? I don't know. Like, you have an interesting story about the climbing that I don't know if you want to share right now.
I already climbed. I already shared it a couple weeks ago. The girl, or the boy who
stepped on your daughter's head.
Yeah, I'm like
crazy.
And then the father looked at me like I was crazy for yelling at his kid.
And I've told the story before about disrespectful to cast members. I saw that poor lady screaming at the cast member, yelling at her because she couldn't bring her stroller into the land pavilion. And I felt so bad. I put in a cast compliment to the poor girl who had to deal with it.
Yeah.
Getting into fist fights, which is all over social media now, that literally makes me sick. Like when I watch those, like I feel like I want to throw up because you're paying so much money. B, it's this place of like happiness and love, and people are getting so mad that they're like beating each other up. I think of it from an outsider. Like I don't think I would ever get to the point where I would get in a fight unless someone came at me. That's a different kind of story. But imagine if you're standing there on the sidelines with young kids. And I don't even want to say specific age because it depends.
Yeah.
Like, think about how that scars those kids for life.
And I do care about it, but I don't even care about that. What I care about is like, how selfish are you that this multi-billion-dollar a year place, this attraction, you think needs to cater to you?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
I mean, it does, but like...
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It is still private property. They can still ask you to do certain things, like wear a mask.
Okay.
They can ask you to not bring your stroller into places. They can ask you to wait in this line an extra 5 minutes. They can tell you that your table's not quite ready yet, sir, but you got to wait an extra 10 minutes. Does it suck? Yeah. But they're not singling you out. So quit making it about you. Yeah, that's a good reason why not to go. It's gotten bad.
And this one specifically, because I've been watching a ton of Disneyland videos just because we're getting excited for our trip coming up soon. And I was watching how in the brand new queue for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, people are damaging certain things in the queue on the way in. They've ripped stuff completely off. There's like an area that kind of looks like there's like condiments and ketchup and mustard. Mm-hmm. Pun intended.
Yeah.
And people are ripping those things off, and they have to like put up signs, and like it's really sad. And
then people will complain, well, the signs take me out of the theming. Right? They're gonna people will complain about that, and it's like, well, then tell your kid to stop pulling the stuff off the wall.
And the last one I have here is people like over serving themselves. Like, you can have drinks at Disney. You have, but we know our limits. Some people don't, and they get into all kinds of disorderly conduct and yelling at cast members. And again, I'll get back to my point, and you can weigh in on this too. Is this something that has always happened, or is it something that becomes more prominent because of the different social media outlets showing these videos of people getting kicked out or sneaking their 8-year-old in as an infant? That was another recent one.
Putting lifts in the shoes of a kid who's not tall enough to ride rides.
Exactly.
Like, what kind of idiot does that?
So is this something that's always been happening, or is just society morphing?
I think to an extent, yes. Some of those things have always been happening. The stuff that I can say like I've never witnessed fights at the park. So I think that
Thank God.
I think that the fights have always happened, but just not been on video.
Yeah, so it's highlighted.
But but I do think like for the first one you mentioned, the cutting in line thing.
Oh,
like I can tell you that it's changed in the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2019 never happened. 2021 when I went, it was like, oh, my family's up there. No, they aren't. I saw you leave them at the popcorn cart.
Yeah.
I watched you. You got out of line to get your popcorn, and now you're going back to the front of this 90-minute wait. So let's stop lying and just get back at the end of the line.
Yeah.
But of course, like you said, it's not worth getting in a fight with these entitled people. And you know what? If they were 13, 14-year-old kids, it's like, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But these are like middle-aged adults
Yep.
doing this. Oh, my family's up there. No, they're not. I watched you.
Generally, I don't have an issue if it is like an 8-year-old or even a 13-year-old. Whatever. It's a kid by themselves. If they're by themselves, maybe they're going to their parent.
Right.
Like maybe they had to pee.
Yeah.
For real.
And
that was me when I was little.
Yeah, and there are times when I genuinely know that it is an adult going back to their family. And you can tell the difference. These people who are just walking by pushing you and saying my family's up there, they're not. It's the person who's almost borderline embarrassed to ask.
Yes, and they're looking, and you can tell they're looking for their family.
Yeah,
they're searching. Their head is moving.
And I hate it so much that this past year we were on Pirates. We were in line together, and my son had to use the bathroom, and then also we saw that Jack Sparrow was there.
Yes, right.
And so they jumped out of line, and we weren't quite. We were still in the
we weren't in the tunnels or caves.
Correct. So we were just kind of like in the loop backs or whatever, the cutbacks there.
Right
and
before the AC.
And then we got there, and they weren't back yet. And I said, you guys just go because I'm going to wait. Mm-hmm. Because I am not that person who's going to have my kid
me neither.
and my wife, oh, my family's up there. My family's up there. No. So I just kept letting people go, and we just didn't ride the same boat. We were maybe 5 minutes behind you.
Yeah, we went ahead, and wasn't a big deal at all.
5 minutes, man.
Yep.
So just wait like if you, I don't know, I don't get it. But anyway, I think those are all good reasons why not to visit the parks this summer.
Number 4, rude people. What'd you have for 4?
My number 4 is that if you want to visit a park that might be more worthwhile this summer, it might be going to our sponsor for the day.
I knew you were getting that. Yeah.
So and we joke, right? They're not our sponsor, obviously.
No, they're not.
They're not. But the reality is, we feel like this is like an advertisement for them.
And to be fair, though, I am not a Universal hater. I think it's a great park. Yeah. I really enjoy it.
But here's the truth: Universal's opening a new gate in 2025. Mm-hmm. These next 2 summers are going to be lower, not low, but lower attendance at Universal because people who
are going to wait.
People who are planning a Universal trip are going to wait until Epic Universe opens up.
That's me.
So if you're going, yeah, I know, me too. If you're going to go to Florida and you're like Disney or Universal, well, Disney's been more packed than normal.
Yep.
And Universal, I think, is going to start seeing a downswing of people saying, I'm close enough now where I want to wait until the new park opens. Mm-hmm. So it might not be a bad idea to go over to Universal. And by the way, their construction is in a different park.
Yeah.
So you're not in it. Not like at Disney where you're like in the construction.
And they're not adding anything new. The most recent thing was the Velocicoaster, which they had to do construction for. And actually, speaking of which, they have 2 brand new rides because they had Velocicoaster and then they had the other, that Hagrid's something, I forgot what they're called, but their ride looks awesome too.
The motorbike.
Yeah, right. That's the one. But they look great. And I haven't been in maybe 5 years, and I think yours is quite a bit longer. But
mine's been, wow. Yeah, it's been a lot longer than that. I was at a wedding in Orlando over Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay.
And we went on Thanksgiving, big mistake. But yeah. We ate our Thanksgiving dinner at that Dueling Pianos like Irish bar or whatever the heck it is there in City Walk. So yeah, for me, number 4 is that Universal's up the road.
Yep.
and it's probably not going to be as busy these next couple of summers because people are going to hold out and wait. I don't know that factually. I just know that that's how I'm thinking about, like, I'm not going because I want to wait. And to be perfectly honest, if you're somebody who's going to be going a lot, you can get like an annual pass to Universal for a heck of a lot cheaper than you can get annual passes elsewhere.
I'm going to mention that a little bit later too.
But yeah. So number 4, Universal is up the road and kind of doesn't have construction in your face. Their construction is making a new park.
So number 3 is one that they're trying to address, maybe. I mean, recently, and Bob Iger was talking about the park reservation system. He says one of the main reasons for the park reservation system is to keep the crowd levels down.
He's full of you-know-what, folks.
Yeah.
He is. Listen, I will sing Bob Iger's praises. Yeah. He is lying to you.
Uh-huh. So my number 3, and we'll discuss this further, is it's way too crowded. Now, he says that it's, we're trying to keep the levels or the number of people at a reasonable level. They're keep bringing people in. It's about paying cast members. Like, go ahead.
Okay.
I know you're ready to talk.
So this guy, this gets me fired up.
No, so feel free.
So, yeah, when he says it's about keeping the number of people at a reasonable number, what he's actually saying is it's about keeping the number of cast members at a reasonable number. He is trying. Look, it is. I'm a stats guy. Okay, what they're doing is massive data collection that allows them to optimize their product, their profit, I should say, which is fine. All businesses do it, but don't gaslight me. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you're doing. Just say, look, this allows us to maximize profits. That's why we're doing it. Say it. Yeah. Admit it. Don't say it's helping my experience, because ever since that has come into play, the crowds are bigger.
They are.
So shut up.
Yeah.
You're a liar.
Yeah.
You are lying.
Well, and part of it too, if you look at it from this perspective with the park reservation system, is it's kind of creating this fear. Like, oh crap, I better book it or I'm not getting in.
Because you see on social media people standing outside the entrance like, help me, I can't get in.
Yeah, I've literally seen that. Have you seen that in person before?
I haven't seen it in person.
Yeah.
You did.
Yes. A lady from somewhere in Europe was like here from Poland. It was over Christmas.
Yeah,
everything was booked.
I have my tickets. I can't get in.
Mm-hmm.
That was when you were down there this winter, right?
That was Christmas. Yeah, Christmas of 2019.
No, they didn't have Park Pass then.
They didn't?
No.
Oh, you're right.
It must have been. You saw it when you were down there.
I was trying to. I thought of that because it was a busy time.
You had a loved one pass away.
Yeah. Yes.
Right,
yes.
and you were down there.
Yes.
And that's when you saw it when you were going. You were on property because it was right in the area.
Correct.
Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure.
Yep. Well, the reason I thought that was because I was trying to think it was a busy time, and Christmas is the busiest
Why would
time.
you have been down there? And that was when you were down there. Though,
you're right.
Yep. So yeah, go on. I'll let you finish it because this is yours. But
I'll end with this, and we've been mentioning this too. Is it's way too crowded, and there's that many people, and there's that many hotels. You have that many hotels, which brings it. If you fill them all up, where are all these people going to go? Add another park. I mean, I feel exhausted the number of times we've said this on the podcast over and over. Just do it. Add another park. It can be just a random theme, and I know we've discussed what the different themes could be. Don't put a specific theme on it. Just call it, Magical Sparkles, and it's whatever you want, whatever IP you want to put in there. Disney owns more IP, more quality IP than any other company, in my opinion. Who's even close? Universal.
Yeah, maybe. I even think they own way more than Universal does.
God, Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, they own The Simpsons now, with all that Fox acquisition. Use that.
I don't even care about using it to build another park. I just care that these the parks are overly crowded to a point where it's not enjoyable, and so you can't tell me that you're using the Park Pass reservation system to mitigate that. You just can't.
They just need more attractions to, all the people that are there we call them the people eaters. The people eater, like Tron is there. Tron's going to be a people eater. Well, You just closed Splash Mountain, so nothing's going to change. All the people that were in line for Splash Mountain are going to be in line for Tron now.
Yeah.
So nothing changes
No.
until Tiana opens, and then it's going to help capacity a little bit.
You want to know something even worse?
What's that?
You're wrong, because they're not going to be in line because it's a virtual queue.
So it's not a people eater.
No, because it's a people eater at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
when you're on your phone getting your virtual queue. I love Disney. They do a lot of things right. They do park capacity wrong. They don't know what they're doing. It is overcrowded. Bob Iger is lying to you when he says Park Pass is doing that. Park Pass is doing nothing but helping them staff the parks and maximize profit. If it did anything else, if it didn't help them maximize profit, it would be gone tomorrow. That is the truth.
Yeah.
Any businessman would tell you the same. So he's wrong. Or not wrong. He's just lying to you.
So number 3, way too crowded. What do you got for 3?
My number 3 is, it is not for a spontaneous person.
No.
So
Well, the one argument to that is our buddies at Ear Scouts.
yeah. Okay, so within the day, you're right. You could have some spontaneity with playing the Disney Genie slots.
Yeah, I just want to give them credit because it's kind of a brilliant idea that
It
they
is.
came up with.
It is. And when you change the way you think about it, it does make your day go better. But if you are somebody hoping to have a spontaneous day,
Yeah.
Disney ain't for you.
Nope, you were 100% right. And not to derail you early on, let's just say, I heard this Skipper Canteen is cool. Let's try it. Or I would really like to eat at the Royal Table. Let's go do that now. Nope.
Yeah. You better know 60 days before you go what you want to eat.
Yeah.
So I think that it's important to recognize that Disney is not for people who don't like to plan their vacation. For myself, I am the kind of guy who likes spreadsheets and has everything planned out. So for me, I'm good with it because then I can prepare myself for what I'm going to do. I like to know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. I like all that. But for people who like to fly by the seat of their pants and, we'll see. You know, the kind of people who are like, we're going to drive to Disney and we'll stop somewhere along the way and they don't even have hotel reservations. Those people may not want to go to Disney because if you're okay with just driving and seeing what's happening, you're not going to be okay with arriving at Disney and being like, I think I'm going to go get lunch now. Because guess what? Even if you want quick service, everything's switched to mobile ordering, right?
You got to plan ahead.
You go to your mobile order at 11:30 so you can have your Sunny Eclipse burger. Oh, you can pick it up at 3:30. Wait, what? 4 hours from now? Yup. Because that's when your next pickup is. Oh, I want a hot dog at Casey's. Okay. Hope you ordered at 10 for your 12 o'clock pickup time if it's busy.
Crazy.
It's
sad but true.
Spontaneity is gone
Yeah.
at Disney World. So if you really want a reason not to go, I would say that if you're looking for a spontaneous vacation, and by the way, I would say if you're looking for a spontaneous vacation, Universal's not much better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're better, but not much better. You really don't want to do a theme park vacation if you're looking for spontaneity.
Yeah, I think the way I'm approaching Disneyland, since I haven't been there before, I kind of have a plan A, B, and C.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what happens when we arrive, I'm going to do one of those 3 things. For example, plan A, go right to Indiana Jones. But if it's down, which is possible, I have a plan B. Plan B is straight back to Fantasyland. So, and I won't get into every single version of the plans I have, but for example, as long as you kind of plan ahead in the way of, I know what's there, I know what might happen, and just, you can go with the flow, so to speak, but just know what's there and know what your different options are. I guess
Right.
is my advice for that, but I still completely agree. You can't really be spontaneous. And if you need help, use one of the travel agents.
Look, so if you're somebody who is only spontaneous on vacation because you're not good at planning, here is a solution, right? A solution is you go to one of our many friends on Instagram. If you're looking for a travel agent, contact us. We will hook you up with one who is we probably know somebody in your home state, possibly in your home city.
Lots of our listeners do that.
So certainly get in touch with us if you are looking for a travel planner. That said, if if it's that you like to be spontaneous because you like to be spontaneous, not because you don't like to plan, this is not the trip for you. And it's never going to be.
Yeah.
And it never was, honestly, because it's even more spontaneous now. Used to be you had to know what you wanted to eat 180 days in advance.
Yeah.
So anyway, yep, that's mine. Is it's not spontaneous. That's my number 3 reason not to go to Disney World.
Number 2, I have a funny story for this one too. My number 2, get right to it here. It's way too freaking hot. And I deal with it. And my funny story is from a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. We're leaving the park. I'm wearing a tank top and shorts, and we're exiting. It's dark out. It's, I don't know, 10 o'clock or whatever, right? And we're going to get onto the ferry to leave. And my wife takes a picture of my back. And this isn't as gross as you think. You think it's going to be gross.
With a flash on, I'm
Yeah.
assuming. Yeah.
So, and then she shows it to me. She goes, "You are dripping with sweat. It is 10 o'clock at night." And we look at the temperature. It was in the 90s. It was dark out. It was 10 o'clock. And the temperature was in the 90s.
I want you to think about why stone buildings were so popular in the colonial Americas.
To retain heat.
Yeah. So now you're walking on concrete and pavement
Yep.
all day long. That is baking in the sun and gaining heat and taking in all that energy.
And some of it's black.
Yeah.
I think Main Street, the middle of Main Street, I think is black, I think.
And then it just gives it back off
Uh-huh.
all night long. And so it never really cools down.
Yeah, it just radiates heat.
We famously don't like the heat, right? That's one of the things that we talk about on here frequently. This doesn't make my list because I can deal with it for a week.
Well, and we've learned how to deal with it too.
But
I mean, it is crazy, crazy hot, and it has altered the way that we plan our trips because we will do an activity that has, well, we'll say an external cue and then something that we wait inside with air conditioning. For example, this is my famous one I always use. You wait outside for Haunted Mansion, dripping with sweat. Then you're like, okay, time for Country Bears or time for Hall of Presidents. Either one, you go in, you're sitting in the AC. You plan for that in advance.
Yeah.
Again, it's not really being as spontaneous because you have to plan these, ABC, what do we do in order for these trips?
Well, I straight up plan what clothes to bring.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like, oh, I like this t-shirt. It's like, I can't wear that color at Disney because that color will change to a different color within 5 minutes of me being in the park.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
And
last trip.
wearing a backpack, because like with kids you wear a backpack, and so you got this giant like sweaty. I can feel it right now, and it's Anyway, you're not wrong.
We bring a change of shirt or multiple,
and it's that is a great tip. Bring a change of shirts.
Yeah, it's a fresh change. So 2, way too hot. What do you got?
My number 2 is kind of similar to your number 4. I think it was about Epcot.
5 was Epcot.
5 was Epcot.
Never-ending construction project.
So my number 2 is kind of about that, and it's that you joked and said it's never ending, but the reality is it is ending as well as Splash Mountain's refurb is ending, and so I think that if you're somebody who's not going every year, don't go right now.
Yeah,
because you're going to want to wait until Moana's walkthrough attraction is done. Yeah. You're going to want to wait until Tiana's Bayou Adventure is done. They're retheming. Rumor on the street is they're retheming Pecos Bill because it's going to be. I've heard it might be Tiana's Foods. I think it's going to be called something like that. But they had talked about retheming that for a number of reasons. One of them is the cultural insensitivity of the comedy short or the cartoon short of Pecos Bill. But there's some other reasons why to retheme it because it's not the greatest food. But
well, and I love Cajun food. If they're going to retheme it to something that's New Orleans related, and
I think
Disney has history with it. Again, Disneyland. I know I'm talking a lot about Disneyland because I'm thinking about it a lot.
Yeah, the New Orleans Square stuff. Yeah.
There's at least 2 restaurants that are Cajun themed.
Right. There's no reason they couldn't. Well, I don't want to get into retheming. Never mind. But they could definitely do something there. Yeah. So my point is, like, for the traveler who's not going every year, this year and next year are probably not the years to go.
Yeah.
You're going to be getting a new fireworks spectacular at Epcot that's not opened this summer. You're going to be getting
Happily Ever After back.
Yeah, that'll be open this summer. But
that's right.
But Splash won't be.
That's 25.
Right now they're saying 24. It's going to be 25. Let's be honest.
Yeah, true.
Disney's track record isn't great with this stuff. You're going to be getting the Moana walkthrough. You're going to be getting, the Communicore pavilion, whatever that is there. You're going to be getting Dreamer's Point. These are things that aren't going to be there not all of them are going to be there this summer. So if you hold off, you will have a better experience. There's even rumors about potentially coming in from Disneyland. So, there's all sorts of different things you may want to wait for. And it might not be a bad idea to take this summer specifically off to let some of these rumors kind of, get clarified. This is the first full summer of Iger being back in charge. We'll see what he has to do. I just, kind of bashed him for his comments about the Park Pass system.
But he has way more pluses than minuses.
Right. But he is also putting people like back in charge of creative who belong being in charge of creative.
Yeah.
So I think that by the end of this summer, we're going to see a clearer picture of the future of the parks.
Yeah.
So that's my number. My number 2 is, it's just, there's too much good in the future to go right now.
So I'll get to my number 1 here, and I'm going to be shocked if it isn't your number 1 also. And if it is your number 1, I need you to look something up for me.
Mm-hmm.
And my number 1 reason not to go to Walt Disney World is it's too expensive.
Yeah.
That's yours too?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Do me a favor while I'm giving my intro here.
Yep.
Look up park tickets for Walt Disney World on an average day and Universal Studios on the same average day. So it has gotten so incredibly expensive. And if I'm being completely honest, I will pay whatever. You know what I mean? I love it so much that I'll pay whatever, but everybody is not me. And everybody is not picking up multiple extra jobs to be able to pay for their vacations. We make it work. Okay. And, we love it so much that no matter what, we want to go back every year. Another part of that too, and it's, thing Nick comments on a lot, is being a member of the Disney Vacation Club. We say DVC, that's what we're talking about. You can be part of the vacation club and you get special deals and you go back every year, but also that's expensive too. These parks have just really just gone up and up and up. And the crazy thing is that people just keep going. So they're like, okay, we'll raise the price again. And then more people go and the parks are super, super crowded. You got any info for me over there?
So, because I was like, nobody ever really pays full rate for their tickets. They usually will get some sort of a discount or whatever, whether you're going through a travel agent and you get like a room discount, or you're going through undercover tourists and buying your tickets. This is crazy. I can't even believe this. All right. So a 3-day, because nobody goes for 1 day, right? A 3-day base ticket. All right.
Sure.
Base ticket is $386.13. Okay. At Universal, a 3-day ticket, their 3-day ticket for the same day is $336.07. And you're like, well, that's not that big a difference, except Universal has their 3-day is a 3-day park to park, meaning you can go from park to park.
Oh, that's a benefit.
And they're going to add 2 days to it. So it's actually a 5-day.
What?
Yeah, that's their current promo right now.
That's incredible.
A 3-day park to park plus 2 days.
Wow.
Which I don't know why they don't just call it a 5-day, but
that's a real reaction, folks. This is the first time I'm hearing of this.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
A 3-day.
Now, I wonder if this is kind of like Disney's 35% off, where Universal's saying, hey, our new park's not open yet, but we want you here. Come on.
Maybe, but the reality, I don't care. You said cost, and this falls in line with what we said.
Yeah.
Go to Universal.
Yeah.
For For 336. Let me look up the exact price here. I'm going to give you the exact $336.07. Let me add taxes and fees. This is through Undercover Tourist.
Sure.
$368.92 gets you 5 days park to park at Universal. Okay. Now, the comparable ticket would be a 5-day park hopper at Disney.
Sure.
Okay.
With
The
yeah.
the comparable ticket would be a 5-day park hopper at Disney. So I said it was 368 something, right? Comparable ticket at Disney.
780. That's a guess.
It is $673.19 for one person.
Yeah.
And
multiply that by your whole family.
It's $305 more for the same comparable ticket. I didn't know that. I'm shocked. Like I thought, okay, $50. Nope. That's insane.
This might need to be the snippet that goes on social media.
So
right
so travel agents that are friends of ours, go ahead and write me up a quote for Universal. That's insane. Like what? In what world is Disney worth $305 more over 5 days per person?
Here's a crazy question for you.
Yeah.
You're a DVC member.
Yes.
That means you get to stay at Disney. That doesn't include park passes and all those other things.
Correct.
Just means you get to stay there.
Correct.
You know, you're a part owner, right?
Right. Yeah. I get the privilege
of
staying. Yeah. Oh, well, I know what you're going to say.
You know what I'm going to say.
Well,
would you use your DVC time? You go and you stay at the park. You're still staying at Disney. Would you do a Universal park vacation even though you're staying on Disney property? Would you do that?
We are already planning one.
That's great.
We're planning on doing a split in the future where we do like when the kids are older, we would like to do something like over by Saratoga Springs or Old Key West.
Cool.
In a bigger room, because you can do a bigger room there for less points. And doing like a split vacation where we do a couple days in the Disney parks and then a couple days over at Universal. Not
Cool.
a couple, probably like 4 or 5.
And then,
I mean, hey, for $368 per person, I might as well do the 5 days over at Universal.
Yeah, well, you don't know how long that promo's going to last.
I understand that, but are
Either
you
way,
kidding
it's
me?
going to be cheaper. Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now? $368. 5 days, park to park. That's crazy. Now, I get it, right? That's right now they are trying to draw people in because people are holding off. Still. And look, we are still a Disney podcast. We still
let's go full circle here.
We still love Disney.
Yeah,
but,
let's end on a positive note.
The cost has gotten to be prohibitive.
Yeah, and no lie, I have worked multiple side jobs to be able to afford this vacation because I love it and my family loves it, and we all, not just me, yes, I'm obsessed, but my wife loves it, my kids love it, and we want to go back every year, and the price goes up, and I got to make it work somehow.
So I literally work 12 months a year on a second job, basically, because if you really want to think about it, it's my coaching salary.
That's a second job. That counts.
Goes to our parks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really it. And when you think about that, like you start adding up that money and that time, it's a lot. That said, all of these things are real reasons why you may not want to go to Disney this summer, but I encourage you to go because you will, you'll make
memories of a lifetime.
Absolutely. I still love Epcot. My kids still love Epcot, even though the whole front half of the park is under construction.
Yeah.
I love everything there is to do with, planning a vacation, planning a Disney vacation.
It's fun.
So the spontaneity thing doesn't bother me that much. I got to be honest with you, the cost thing, when I'm talking about vacation, I don't care. Like, your wife joked with us all wait till you guys see Disney, Rob. Wait till you see Disney, Rob. And it's kind of like the same thing for me. It's like, whatever. Like, if I'm here and my son wants a $52 steak for dinner, I'm like, no. You can have a burger. And I wouldn't say that, but, like, it wouldn't be something he would even think about.
Yeah.
But we're on vacation. It's like, do not look at prices, bud.
Yeah. You're
like, eat what you want to eat.
Yep.
And I know I know not everybody can do that, but if you can, it's worth it, because then it does become maybe not relaxing in the sense of like, you're coming home refreshed, but it's relaxing in that you're letting go of that whole idea that, I have to pinch the pennies here and I got to pinch the pennies there. And I understand inflation being what it is, and, people are under duress with some of their financials because of, our current economic situation. But like, maybe take one day less and still be able to do the thing you want, or maybe stay off property if that's something that you'd want to. If you stay off property, you can get some really good deals
and save a lot of money.
Yeah. But this has been actually more fun than I expected it to be.
Well, it's kind of a venting session on things that are driving us a little crazy.
Yeah.
It was a good excuse to do it for, April Fools.
Yeah. Honestly, I think, just so you know, guys, next week we'll be back to talking about all the things we love about Disney.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you understand that, it's okay as Disney people not to always defend them, right? On social media, we see a lot of the times people blindly defending Disney.
You can be critical of stuff you love.
I'm not anti-Disney when I say that Bob Iger is lying about why the park pass reservation system's in place. So anyway, next week we'll be back to our normal happy-go-lucky Disney podcast where we love everything. But it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow is just a list away.
Tune in next time, and we'll see you real soon.